CNBC's Martin Sung caught up with the Canadian ambassador to China at the sidelines of the event and talked about how the trade dispute between the world's two biggest economies could affect the rest of the globe.
What I also have said to Chinese government officials is if you want to avoid a trade war, as we do, then Xi Jinping has used very strong language in favor of globalization, in favor of freer trade, but it would be good if he could match those statements with actions. And the more that China can follow the words with actions by opening up faster, that might be one of the best ways to avoid a trade war. So I think that while China has talked a very strong game on freer trade and on globalization, their actions have not always matched their words. So the more they could act, the more it would help the world to preserve the international system and avoid a descent into a trade war.
From Canada's perspective, what would be the best example or a good example of walking that talk?
Well, for example, China has talked about being more open towards foreign direct investment and the rules governing foreign companies coming into China. I think they've set a deadline for certain actions by the end of July, but I believe the more they can do in concrete terms to show that they are walking the talk, they are matching words with action, the more we are likely to be able to avert a damaging trade war.
President Xi Jinping came out with this sweeping speech, not as long as the NPC, but still sweeping, where he talked about exactly that, opening up specific sectors as well, and even with regards to at least autos, a bit of a time frame, right, by this year. And a lot of people say, hey, this is great, this is China conceding, this is China not waving the white flag, but at least offering an olive branch to the U.S. Many others, though, who have watched China for many years go, look, this is really nothing new. They're laying out a game plan that's been in place for years now. This is what they were going to do anyway. And the question is whether or not they're going to be able to do it fast enough ahead of the midterms in November to satisfy the Trump administration. Is that a fair reading?
Xi Jinping has talked a very strong talk in his Davos speech just over a year ago, and then in his more recent speech. I think the more recent speech had a few little nuggets that were new, but not very much. So my point is, and it's what you just said, that if we're going to avert a trade war, if we're going to come to a settlement, then it would be good if China could walk the talk and act quicker in those areas. And that's what I've said to Chinese officials, and this is what I'm saying to you, because I do think this is the best way to avert a trade war, which could turn out to be a very bad thing for China, for the United States, and for the world.
Is it Canada's belief that China is, in this competition, not playing fairly, though, as the U.S. claims?
Well, I think that there are some areas in which China could open up and do things more transparently. That is the case, yes. But, we're not taking sides on this. We are obviously monitoring everything. United States is by far our biggest trading partner. China is also a significant partner. We think there is certainly room for quicker action on opening up on the Chinese side, as I've said before.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.